Afternoon, everyone. We're here with the next episode of the Planning Pulse. I'm Nichola, one of the heads of service here at Wilden, responsible for planning policy. And I've got a colleague here with me today, James Webster.
Hello, my name is James Webster and I'm the team leader for the planning policy team. And we want to talk to you today about the consultation process.
That's right, James. So some of our regular listeners might have caught the previous session where I spoke about the local plan process, but here today to talk about the local plan and specifically the Regulation 18 consultation, which we've just carried out. So, James, as part of the local plan process, we've undertaken this consultation and there were multiple methods to involve people in that process. In terms of the public exhibitions that we undertook, how many did we do and where were they?
So we held actually 9 public exhibitions across all of the district and including our 5 major towns, so that is Uckfield, Helsham, Crowborough, Polegate and Heathfield. We also held the other 4 public exhibitions in villages that incorporated some of our more major growth. So that included Maresfield, Horham and also France, but more at the edge of Tunbridge Wells and East Hoadley.
Okay, and were these public exhibitions well attended? And how many people were involved in the process talking to the public?
So it was quite a significant process. In fact, we had over 1,200 people attend those public exhibitions, and this was reasonably spread across all of the district's public exhibitions. The largest potential exhibition in terms of attendance was Uckfield at about 290 people. We had a mixture of staff from across the council, including those from our communications team, also in relation to the development management officers who deal with planning applications and planning policy officers who help to create the local plans. So there was quite a mixture of people there. There were also councillors at each event who answered some of the questions from the public too.
Okay, thanks, James. And how do you think these events were received, and what were the type of people that attended those sessions?
So there was quite a mix of residents of all ages, and it was quite nice to see that people from the older and younger generations mixing at those events. It was clear that residents were very knowledgeable around their local patch, and some were already knowledgeable about the content of the plan too, which was very good. They're very happy with the engagement in this process. It's known that this can be a difficult process for residents, particularly where draft sites have been put forward, but we can confirm that many understood those issues and the issues at play of those allocations.
And if people couldn't attend those face-to-face exhibitions, bearing in mind that they were in the evening or at weekends, were there any other alternatives that people could use to get involved in the process?
Yes, so we had a virtual exhibition which is all online. For those who didn't want to or couldn't attend the face-to-face exhibitions, it was a great reproduction and substitute of what could have been accessed at the face-to-face sessions. It was a virtual representation of what was available for the face-to-face exhibitions. The only difference was the opportunity to ask questions of officers at the actual exhibitions themselves. It was set out like you were in the parish hall, so you could the actual signs and the posters that were at parish halls were represented online. You could view any of the boards on the display. You could also view all the supporting material that was displayed for people to read at the exhibition. And you could also view our introductory video recorded by our leader, deputy leader and portfolio holder who spoke about the plan, what it has set out to achieve and why we need one.
Do you know how many people accessed the virtual exhibition?
Well, it's very popular as well, so we had almost 1,000 unique views of the exhibition itself. Not everyone looked at every page, but overall we had 4,440 views of the individual pages in the exhibition, which was a great achievement.
That really is a high level of engagement, isn't it? How many comments have we received Now that we've gone through all those comments that have been received, do you know which questions were most answered? What were the popular areas of the plan and which topics that involved?
So the three main topics were the spatial strategy, which was set out fairly near the start of our plan, the housing chapter, and the natural environment chapter that had about half, if you put those all together, of the total responses to our plan. It's also interesting to note that we had about 700 responses on both the Oldsbury site, which is the West of Uckfield site, and the Ashdown Forest Business Park, so 1400 in total there. Even having said that, there was still a further 2,400 answers to queries on the spatial strategy chapter, so it's by far the largest represented chapter of the local plan. There was around 1,900 responses on the natural environment chapter and almost 2,000 responses on the housing chapter as well.
That's amazing. I've never known that kind of level of response to a planning policy.
Neither did I, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, very good.
We also did a call for sites, didn't we? What was the purpose of that? And have we had any additional sites submitted?
So we opened the call for sites as part of the Regulation 18 local plan consultation. We've done this before as well, so there's been already a lot of sites submitted to us as part of the local plan. It remains open for the foreseeable future. Its purpose is to ask landowners and developers whether they like to put forward their land for development through the local plan process. We had 25 new sites.
So you just mentioned the Regulation 19 plan. What is that? And then what actually are the next steps for the team?
So there's an awful lot of work that needs to go on now. So we need to consider and review the comments that have come in as of a few days ago, and actually the entirety of the submissions received have been put online within our consultation system, which is a great achievement. We're now going to consider the main themes and issues running through the consultation responses, and we'll provide a summary report to our members of the issues involved. We'll publish a response to all consultation responses as part of the consultation statement that we're required to publish as part of the Regulation 19 version of our local plan. We'll do more evidence gathering over this time, as well as consider sites which have been submitted through the call for sites process. We'll look to refine and reword policies as a result of the comments you have given us to the consultation and what the evidence is telling us. We expect the Regulation local plan to be published at the very end of this year or the start of next year.
Okay. And so you talk about the Regulation 19 plan. Does that mean there's a further opportunity to provide comments on that version of the plan?
Absolutely. So there will be a further opportunity to provide comments as part of the Regulation 19 local plan at the start of next year, and we'll keep everyone informed that has already been consulted before, that's made comments on the Regulation 18 local plan, or is in our consultation database.
Okay. So where do these new comments on the Reg 19 version of the plan, what happens to them? Who looks at them? Where do they go?
So it's an interesting question, that one. So the comments will first go to the council for us to summarise and review, but ultimately will be directed to the planning inspector when appointed, who will examine the Regulation 19 local plan. The expected submission date for the local plan will be June 2025, with the examination expected to take place in early 2026.
Okay, so just one final thing before we wrap up then. So if anyone is really interested in what continues through the local plan and isn't registered on our database, wants to be involved and find out what happens in the next stages, how can they be notified?
So
Great, thanks James. So everyone who's listening, thanks for spending time with James and I today on the podcast about our Reg 18 consultation. It's been really great to know the extent of the consultation in terms of the number of responses we've received and that level of interest in the plan. Really amazed by the amount of responses we've had. It's not like anything I've ever worked on before.
Same,
but that's great. So yeah, thanks everyone. It's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from James.
Thanks for joining us on today's Planning Pulse.